Hello and welcome back to another VOD review. Here we are, San Francisco Shock. I know you fans have been waiting for a long time. We're gonna check out this match. It is a short one. Spoilers, the Shock is pretty dominant. It wasn't too surprising. The Toronto Defiant have been a good team, solid, but as we always say, they've really struggled to sort of best any top level teams. They are essentially the gatekeepers of this season. They had a pretty good season. All in all, I think Aspire was a great pickup for them. Came in for Nice when Nice was, yeah, it was coming in for Nice right when Nice had COVID, and they had to sort of deal with that. They've been solid, not incredible, not too bad. So their season comes to an end. I don't think Aspire actually plays any of the maps in this match, which you can question, but it seemed like they wanted to prioritize having Nice in so that he can play the Echo, and then they just had Hisu play the Tracer, which is fine. I got no problems with that. Oh, Hisu? Yeah, it was one of the DPS was out and Aspire was picking up. I think it might have been Hisu. You might be right, actually. And then the San Francisco Shock. The question about this team has always been, how good are they? Do they still have that secret sauce? I think they are peaking at the right moments. I've talked about the San Francisco Shock in my power rankings videos heading into the play-ins, but they look way better, and I think this play-ins showed a good look of what we should expect from the San Francisco Shock. They definitely have their two rosters going on right now. They play Super and FD God at the same time. When they have those two in, they want to play this brawl style. Play fast with the Lucio, with Super playing that Reinhardt, and they make it work really well here. Also with Glister in the lineup as well. So Glister and Nero come in. But when they want to play the dive, Smurf comes into the lineup, Twilight comes into the lineup, and then Arns even comes into the lineup. So they really have like two different six-man squads, and both look good when they are playing from what we've seen thus far. My concerns for the Shock are that it's very transparent when they make these switches, and they've done that historically, you know, in their championship run when they used to put Striker in, you knew they were going to play Dive and Tracer, and they've done that in the past. But are they good enough at both of these comps to justify them being able to make these very transparent switches? I don't know. It also heavily limits what they can switch to in the game, right? When they have Super and FD God in, Super's not going to switch to Winston, FD God's not going to switch to Brig, all those kind of things. As much as they can play that, I think they will try and avoid it. So, Shock looking better. They are on the rise. I think they are looking much better than they have looked in the regular season, but, you know, it all matters in the playoffs when they start playing against the best teams. How do you think Glister did? Fine? I don't know. Nothing really stands out to me. If he does switch to Brig, yeah, he might go Brig for like bits and pieces, right? But they're not going to play dive with this lineup in, or at least they're going to try and heavily avoid playing the dive. But I wouldn't be surprised if temporarily on some certain maps, at certain points of maps, they do switch to the Winston Brig, but that's not their primary strategy in a map. Holy crap, that's loud.
2, 1. Round 1. Capture objective.
Alright. So this was massively a clash of styles in this matchup. The Toronto Defiant wanted to play this Wrecking Ball Briggs, and it kind of felt like they were one-tricking this comp. They said in a post-game interview after beating Boston, I believe it was, Hisu was like, yeah, we can play not dive, but we just prefer to play dive. I honestly think he was just lying to us. I think they are gonna play this. They were gonna play this Wrecking Ball through and true, and they did that. They didn't make any adjustments. They wanted to play this dive style, and didn't ever want to mirror San Francisco Shock on the brawl. So the Shock get the high ground. Oh, this is actually funny. Violet actually uploaded this. Look at this moment from Sato. So Sato comes up for the roll. So he's got the speed, but he pushes. So a weird interaction because FD God's gonna boop him, but the momentum stays at a high level when he gets booped. So he is still in that push, I guess at that threshold where he will push people and the speed that'll push him. So because FD God boops him the opposite direction, instead of going this way, all of a sudden he's coming back, and Violet becomes the casualty of that. So because Sato gets instantly pushed backwards, Violet gets booped off. That is actually tragic for Violet. So Violet gets killed first. And you know, I didn't notice that's what happened at the start of this match, but that has been a common theme for Violet throughout the entirety of this season, is he's just died first a lot. And it was funny to see that happen in the first match. Shock defeated Shock. FD God betrays Violet. FD God's like, you think you can replace me on main support? Take this! It's fucking boobs Violet off the map. Alright, so they're stepping up. Let's get some Glister Pub real quick. Hisu gets caught around the corner. That was so sad. Oh, Glister should not have died. Like, actually, I remember this. This is spaghetti. So Glister overcommits, expecting to get that D-Mech kill quite easily. And then Choi tries to get the Baby Diva kill and also dies. So they're just trading for this Diva. FD God gets a couple of kills, but then FD God also drops the spaghetti and also dies. So Shock, in a guaranteed fight win, ends up dropping the spaghetti and just running into the opposition. I don't really know what happened here. Sim's trying to stall this. Glister High Noon gives a... Wait, what? Hello, Super? Does he try and predict the recall? I think he thinks Hisu recall. That has to be the only explanation of why he went for that. Why are they playing Glister over Arns? It seems like they prefer Glister on this hit scan when it's like playing a McCree. But Arns comes into play like the Widow soldier stuff. Just super things. Glister plays the sim. Oh, that might make more sense as well. That would also make sense for the sim flex. Because they play it in university, right? They play the sim. Oh, this is a problem. Yeah, that was good minds. Mail's pretty good. I actually don't hate that Transcendence as well from... Wow, Sato just refuses to die. Oh, big slam. But not enough. That was just a really good ball dive by Sato. Wait, super pins Hisu? Oh no, come on. That's actually a big deal. Okay. That's actually a big deal because that allows them to walk forward without that fear of Tracer. Oh, tragic. Fire strike through the window. Oh, nice throw by Super on the fire strike. Catches last run.
It's gonna make you feel better.
Super is a giga Chad, yeah. Super is a great Ryan. Like, you can say what you want about Super, but he is a great Ryan. This is great main tank in general. I would love to see Super play on a different team where he was a permanent mainstay main tank. Like, see him play the Bowl, see him play the Winston. Oh, he almost got those mines. Nice High Noon. He's not going to get anything with this, but it's just like... creates such a... It was so much space and time provided.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Diva.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. They can't do anything again. Shocker just using their ults very smartly, right? Is Defiant they're getting cornered, like the Shock are getting cornered over time, but they're using their ult smartly, right? They use the high noon to give them time and space. Like, so Super's able to stand on the point without losing his shield instantly. Then they use the window, does the same thing, forces out Lastro Transcendence. And now they have the beat, the Shatter, the May ult to like re-engage back into this. A great bomb. Just very well timed with everything that was going on. Super's Monkey is actually... Super could easily play main tank on any team. It's not like his Monkey and Ball are really bad. It's just Super's is better. Sorry, Smurf's is better. So good hold by the San Francisco Shock. Super to Titans confirmed, yeah. Alright, so they're gonna TP high ground. Makes sense. Oh! Sato is fine. Sketchy. Super is not overhyped. I don't think Super is overhyped. I think Super is over talked about, but that's always gonna happen when he's the biggest streamer and the biggest personality in the league, right? He's not overhyped though. He's definitely as good as everyone makes him out to be. But, you know, obviously you got all the Super's fanboys just like, oh my god, play Super! No Super, no win! And this is what I think the Shock did really well against the Zenyatta of the Trojan Defiant. They made Lastro not be able to play the game with the Lucio speed boost and the TPs getting around the map. Do you think main tank has higher impact than DPS? Depends on the meta. Like in a Ryan vs Ryan meta, yes. But in like in a dive meta, nah, not really. Like traces are more important. So here we're going to see the exact same thing from the Shock, right? The Shock don't have to do anything, but Lastro is going to have to commit at some point, right? So the Shock are able to set the tempo. They can go whenever they want. And because they're doing a great job of making it so that they can't just like blind cap.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Reinhardt.
That was a DPS pin if I've ever seen one. And then they drop the wall when they start losing too much positioning.
Into the iris.
The May ult's okay. Unson J's in Frowny Town. Yeah, just the Shock are just playing this to a T. I'm curious, like, because we're going to the playoffs, I expect the Shock to sort of lean into this Reinhardt Lucio as well. Is it going to work against better teams, right? Like the Toronto Defiant. Obviously, this can work against the Brig Zen if you can get on the backline, but it will work when there's a better bowl, when there's a better other, like, team. I'm curious. What are your thoughts on Choi this season relative to last year? He's barely been talked about this year. I just think the whole San Francisco Shock team has struggled as a unit. I don't think Choi has been as impactful, but I don't think that's isolated or just relative to Choi. I think when the whole team struggle, it's harder to do work, right? So I think as a team, I don't think anyone on the Shock has just like heavily struggled on an individual performance. Maybe Violet a little bit, like with just first deaths. But I just think it's the teamwork and the synergy that's really fallen short for them. But yeah. It's just different playstyles, Codemaster. Where it would get given the different compositions. Oh, good shatter. Choi's in trouble, yeah. It's a pretty bad fight for them because they lost the point. Like, if you're gonna lose the point, they need to die before they lose the point. What's that? That's 10% bit of ult charge before that they lost before they even started resetting. So, just a little thing. It's not a big thing, but a little thing. Thought this game was one-sided and boring? Yeah, it is pretty much. But this is the final one that I really want to watch. But we'll get through this real quick. Once again, great TP by the Shock. TPing onto the high ground. Just like textbook, right? They find the brig. They see the brig in the Zen. They go, okay, sweet, there it is. Glitzer sets the TP. Go, 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 go. Lucio speed boost, run them over. There's nothing they can do about that. And that's Lastro and Unsun J just getting a little bit too aggressive. Oh. Yeah, I think you take that shadow if you're super. Actually, I don't think you take that shadow if you're super. Is he gonna throw it at the Zen? I thought he was gonna throw that at the Zen. And you can see the Defiant are just really struggling to close out the fight, right? Lastro just has to play so safe at all times, out of fear of just getting run at. They are out of ultimates though. If Unsun J gets this rally, they can turn this. Alright, so there's the rally. They can turn this potentially. Careful, Custa. Yeah, good job by the Shock, right? This is like remnants of old Shock, right? Where they disengage so well off of this rally. They know that they don't need to take this fight or don't want to take this fight as well. Nero gets hit by a mine. Yeah, don't worry, it happens to all of us. Choi gets hit by a mine. Everyone's just getting hit by mines at this point. I actually really like that bomb, but I don't think it's gonna get what he wants from it. Yeah. You're not keen on reviewing anything for the East? No, I've already watched Philly. It's actually on my YouTube as we speak right now. I got uploaded today. We watched Philly vs Seoul a couple of days ago. And I don't want to watch Philly vs Spark. I don't think it was a very interesting match. You want to do a review of a previous Dallas vs Shanghai? Nah, we've watched enough Dallas vs Shanghai to know what to expect from these matches. Once again, they get the TP. Oh, good beat by FD God. Transcendence from Lastro is also well timed. Oh, can't keep Sato alive. Oh, that's so sad for Unsun J. He peeks the corner at the exact moment the super goes for that shatter. Nero's been playing amazing. Yeah, opposed to popular Reddit belief, Nero's actually a very, very good player. Especially when I think he switches over to that Tracer. I think Nero on the Tracer has really impressed me. Boom. San Francisco Shock. Guess the first map.
Ready for battle.
Alright, so Nero, so now we see the dive team come in. Smurf comes in to play the main tank. Twilight comes in for FD God, is playing the flex support. Violet goes over to the main support and plays the brig, and Arns is in here on the soldier. Nero fucks this map, yeah.
Ready. 4, 3, 2, 1.
And like, I think the thing that I like about when the Shock are playing this, so they're playing the Winston and a brig, which can be considered worse than the Wrecking Ball, but they understand their win condition, right? They just bully Lastro, bully the backline of the Defiant, make it so that they can't get that space. I love Nero, but I miss Tracker so much. Yeah, I think everyone misses Tracker, right? Oh, this actually, I remember this. This is such a greedy play from the Shock, but I love it. If this grenade gets eaten, I don't know how Twilight is supposed to get out of here, right? Like, if he doesn't hit this nade, what's his exit strategy? If Michelle eats this, they know where he is, and that dive is not gonna be anywhere near as effective. But obviously, the dive goes down. It works. It just absolutely dominates them. Oh, Nero's sad. No doubt. Twilight did this a year, last year, too? Yeah. The Twilight special. Yo, go get a code thing for 2 months. Are you new to the game? You should be playing Frontline as Sigma. God damn it, that's gonna become a forever meme in my chat. Oh! Later, nerd. That was a clean clip. Alright, so they should have a free Nano Winston here to try and get on the back line. Let's see what they do with it. Like, you can see how afraid Lastro is from walking in this room. There they go. Okay, so they make it into the room. Oh, I don't know about that visor from Arns. I don't know what he thinks he's going to get done with this. Oh, that's a good flank, though. I like that follow-up flip. That was a good flip. So I force Zen here because it works with the comp. The Zen is fine. They just need to keep work to keep it alive. So, and then you have the counterbalance, right? That if Lastro and Ansunjay play so passive that Asado just gets isolated. So it's a perfect balance. And why the Wrecking Ball comp is so hard to execute at the highest level, especially as people played against them more, and why some people might like the Winston, Lucio, Moira more. Winston, Lucio, Moira is very easy to execute, while the Ball Zen can be very difficult at times. Boom. Nero gets Ansunjay. Next. I think an underrated element of the Shock success is their ability to hold such high-level internal scrims. They can pit two very skilled teams against each other and practicing without showing their tricks to anyone. Okay, I disagree with that. First of all, they don't have internal scrims, I don't believe, because they only have... I don't think they have 12 players. But I also don't think that they probably do internal scrims. I played for the Valiant in 2018 when we played internal scrims. And the biggest issue is that if you put your best 6 against your mediocre 6, the best 6 is actually way better. And I don't think that the strategies are as tested as you think. I don't know anyone who's successfully done in-house scrims. Maybe the Spark this year. Only have Choi for off-tank, only have one main support, or like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't really have internal scrims. No one really has 12-man rosters since, like, Season 1. Scrim a lot with Atlanta. They scrim a lot with a lot of the top teams, I would say. Giant the Moon special. No, this was Season 1. When Moon, like, before Moon. You just get people to ring in. Yeah, they could definitely do it. I don't know if they do. I'm not going to say that they don't. They could easily get people to ring, but I don't know if they do. But I think for the same reason that I can't say that they don't do that, I don't think you can say that they do that. And we don't, unless you have a source that that's what they've been doing.
New defense point. Objective B.
How do teams scrim other teams without revealing their strats? They do scrim and reveal their strats, but they just don't scrim against teams that they're likely to play anytime soon. But now we're in the playoffs, it gets harder and harder to do that, right?
Time to raise my APM. Allah till men. Routing power to forward shield.
Lastro, very aggressive. How did Lastro end up there?
Time to raise my APM. Allah till men.
I don't know why Lastro ended up here. He caught himself off from Ansunjay. Just gets himself isolated. Didn't want to trans because they have the rally going. But this should just be a pretty easy fight for the Shock. Oops, sorry. Nice play by Smurf.
I'm fire.
Yeah, I think if they were ever going to do internal scrims and that kind of stuff, it would be in the playoffs. I think during the regular season, they probably don't do that. But I think it would make more sense during the playoffs because there's not as many teams to scrim. If they do have a couple of ringers and they play with their B team a little bit and just sort of, it wouldn't be the best practice, but it'd be some good light work and stuff like that. community night social events, yeah. Like people were saying that like they were doing those kind of things. That's not 100% true. Oh, Smurf gets blown up. Good bash. How are they gonna pull this around? It has to be on. All right, pulse bomb doesn't come in. All right, Alan, it's your turn. Oh, Michelle a little bit too aggressive, I think maybe here. He has bomb though. Troy needs to get to this Diva Bomb. Smurf gets the nano and the primal. Let's get some Smurf tech. Bonk, 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 bonk. Oh, dude, it's so good. They make it look so easy. They make it look so easy that you can just juggle them midair and then land on them and then get that health pack damage and just insta-kill someone. Shot calls up Custa to main tank in a scrim. Yo, get me in there. I'm pretty sure I've heard them talk about bringing Sleepy in to do internal scrims. I doubt that would have been any time recently. As people said, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened in season 2. Because there was a point there where Sleepy didn't have a team. And he was like post-rock. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the thing. But, as I said, it's all just rumors and speculation at that point. Doesn't really matter, right? Violet gets bopped. How does this happen? Pretty bad by Violet. He does need to be, like, as soon as you press the rally, you need to be seeking out the Tracer, especially at the Overwatch League level. Tracers are just fucking waiting for you to rally. Nero returns the favor, though. Let's have a look at that. There is some big pop-off individual plays right here. Helps get the dive on the last row. Gets the blink. Oh, just makes it look easy. Oh, he got that pack on the recall. That's so nice. Aussie is budget New Zealand. Yeah, thank you. I was about to time him out. So fighting words, my friend. You're lucky Liz got there before me. My banhammer. I was on the backswing of my banhammer. I was like, oh, and then Liz got you first. Jesus Trace was good. Yeah, Jesus Trace was quite good. Shock don't really have too many ults, but they should be able to get the Nano Smurf. If Smurf can get the Transcendence out with the Nano Winston, they should be in a good spot. There it goes. There gets the Transcendence out. Well played. Wow, Arns isn't gonna die. That's crazy. So now, Smurf, if he gets his primal, should be able to just... Violet gets stuck again, dude. He's just all over his... Well, let's do this. I'm pretty sure this is his big... Dives in. Gets Michelle. Bop, 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 bop. Another one. And another one. Oh, yeah. And this is why Smurf plays Winston over Super. And that's why Smurf is in for the dive. I think a lot of people forgot how good Smurf is at the Winston. Like, last year, everyone talks about, like, this year of, like, you know, Fearless being the best Winston. Mags obviously has an incredible Winston. But people, like, seem to be sleeping on Smurf and Choi, like, for this year. Just because, obviously, they haven't been as dominant as they were in previous years. It'll be interesting, PVC. I love that your name, by the way, PVC, is you got Overwatch 2. You're like ready for next year. You're like, I've already got my Twitch name set. PVC, Overwatch 2, I'm ready. Won't have to change when Overwatch 2 comes out. But I think there's going to be a lot of major overhauls of rosters. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some mass dropping of rosters or just like building around a couple of players. Screw when Overwatch 3 comes out though. Oh yeah, don't worry. In 2043, you'll have to change your name again. Do we know when Overwatch 2 is coming out yet? No, we only know that it will be played in, next season will be played in Overwatch 2. But I think they said it's like an early build, so probably not the full game yet.
5, 4, 3.
Like, what is Soul doing? Soul did, Arnold did come out and say they will be doing an aggressive rebuilding of Soul. I think they should try and retain Prophet and Fitz, but, you know, maybe Prophet doesn't want to stay in Soul. I'm sure Prophet will have many offers if his contract is up. Is it main tanks or off tanks that will be fed by Overwatch 2? We have no idea yet, right? We don't have any, no one has that information. No one's really played it. Surely they are secretly letting our players test Overwatch 2? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on how far ahead in development they are and if they like when they're willing to give it to them. My biggest thing is I would say about that is, do you guys trust the players to not leak anything? Trust me, I've been a player who leaked everything before. Do we trust players to not say shit, you know, to spite the league? No. So I would say that they're not going to give it to them until until we really start getting close. Maybe next year. Like, I think the way it'll work is as soon as we start going into off season and teams are going to have to start putting teams together, they start having trials and all that kind of stuff. I know if I was a team owner and a GM, I'd be like, for our trials, for our off season, we need to have Overwatch 2 client. We can't trial players, we can't build teams if they're not playing the game that's going to be coming out, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, the players start testing it pretty soon after the playoffs. After a bit of a break. Because that just makes no sense, right? Oh, Smurf gets hacked and goes down. Interesting that they're playing the Hisu and the Sombra on defense. I wonder if they're just like, this isn't working. Arns is just so free, by the way. He's been up here for the last minute and 15 seconds. Just shooting. Oh, would they still be budget teams? I have no idea, right? Like, we have no idea that what teams are doing. I would love for the Overwatch League to, like, intervene in some capacity and tell the teams that they have to be competitive. Like, obviously in previous seasons, like, Boston has always been that budget team that, like, other than season 1, they've always not paid the most. And that was fine because, like, at least they were somewhat competitive, but, like, the Valiant shit is, like, surely the league has to step in and be like, hey, Valiant, you guys, like, have to, I don't know, try. You guys got to sign GM players. I think that is, I hope that at least something like that happens. Arns is just very aggressive, but Hisu goes for the EMP. I don't really like that EMP because I don't think they're going to get enough from it. Like, they're going to need that EMP later. They can do a salary floor. Well, there already is a salary floor in some capacity, right? Because unless the rules have changed since I was a player, the base salary had to be 50,000. Every player had to be paid at least 50,000. So that does exist. Didn't they say they will switch to 6v6 if 5v5 is trash? I don't think so, and I would never imagine that would ever be said. Overwatch League is like, nah, fuck your game, Blizzard. We're gonna play 6v6. Fuck Overwatch 2. I assume if the game of Overwatch 2 is bad and PvP is just super trash, they might go back to 6v6, but they're changing so many heroes and there's so many things in development for 5v5. I very much doubt. The game would have to really suck in 5v5, but I don't think it will.
Wobble, wobble, motherfucker.
Yo, Kalak, thank you for the 4 months. Oi. Thank you very much. And Raiheku, thank you very much for the Prime sub as well. Alright, we have a tiny Overwatch going, but we have rallies, so no one's ever gonna die. Except for Sato and Arns. Dude, they just got abandoned. Violet just doesn't care about Arns. And now they're in a small room with Violet. Oh, someone touched the point. Someone touched the point. Oh, okay, that was scary. Who did they nano? Who did... Oh, Smurf got nanoed. Oh, that was a sad hack. Oh, it still gets last row, still getting value. Michelle needed to get to that Diva Bomb. And that goes back to what I said, by the way. Like, remember that last round when I was like, they needed to keep that EMP? They killed Arns and then they used the EMP. Obviously, the timing, you know, Hisu might not have known that they were going to get that win, but you really need to save the EMP until after they've used resources. Because Shock just, like, took the EMP to the face and they're like, okay, we'll come in next fight. They come in next fight with the Rally, with the Nano, with the Primal, with the Pulse Bomb, with everything, and then they just roll over. And Hisu just doesn't get to another EMP before the fight is over. They did say 5v5 isn't set in stone. I would be baffled if they went back on it. Seeing as like the whole everything already exists for it, right?
Ready for battle.
What's the point of not playing a Spy? Because they want to play nice on Echo. On Volskaya, I think they wanted to play nice to Echo. So it seems like when they want to play nice on the Echo, they don't play a Spy, and then Hisu plays the Tracer. Just for the flexibility.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
Who do you have more faith in, Violet Brig or FD Brig? I feel like the FD has higher potential ceiling, but I believe Violet is super essential to the Shock's shot calling, which is why they play him on Brig so often. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that seems to be the way it's being portrayed from like the coaches and the bits and pieces that we have heard, is that Violet's calling is integral and they don't want to take Violet out of the roster. So it makes sense. I think FD God could have been a fine Brig. They just needed to invest resources into him. But if one of the primary reasons that they didn't want to play FD God on anything other than Lucio because of calling, that makes sense. Violet made a contract deal to be in every match. That rumor was like the craziest one to me. I haven't heard any source that has ever confirmed that, and I would be shocked, pun intended, if the San Francisco Shock allowed something like that to be put in a contract. That would be the worst deal I think that would ever be signed.
5, 4,
you can't just do that.
2, 1.
Violet would do that? Yeah, but no, I don't think an org would ever allow that to happen. I think if that is true, then that was a massive failure from the coaching staff. Like, yeah, you would just never do that. There's so many things that could go wrong, right? So the Defiant are in trouble, right? Against this comp. Because how do they keep Sato alive? Like, Sato is just going to be in Frowny Town. He's not going to be able to do anything. It's going to be very hard for the Defiant to dive. Yeah, God damn it. I knew as soon as I said that, there was no coming back from it. Just heal him, lol. Alright, let's see how this goes. So they have to give up the high ground for essentially free, right? But look how much respect Sato has to give. Anson J tries to hold positioning and just dies. Sato's just running for the hills. So I think they're in a massive comp mismatch, and I actually have a big... This stands with the Winston, Lucio, and Moira that I talked about as well. We didn't see it too much, but I think if the Washington Justice tried to play this like Winston, Lucio, Moira against the San Francisco Shock comp, I just don't think it would work. Tracer Sombra, Winston, Lucio, Moira just isn't enough damage to deal with this composition from the Shock. The Winston just will not live. Obviously, if they have permanent EMP and permanent Primal and permanent like Coles, sure, but I just don't think that's realistic. Like, literally, Sato just runs in, gets slapped around, and then just jumps out. Like... Time to go Hanzo Orisa. I think if they... Yeah, I like... I think you have to play... I actually don't know what to play against this composition from the Shock. I don't think Winston's it. Maybe Wrecking Ball, but even Wrecking Ball is going to have a hard time. I think it's Wrecking Ball Zen, and then you play greedy on the Zen. But you could also just go Bap Zen Orisa with like hit scan, but then you're mass switching your comp. I think that's what I would do. I would go the Orisa comp. But that's so hard to switch for, and Defiant don't want to do it. I think you need a Zen, regardless of what you're doing, because the San Francisco Shock, the weakness of the San Francisco Shock comp is that they have no mobility, right? They can't move. So you can play super greedy, right? You can play Bap Zen, play high damage. You can play like a Hanzo or whatever. Just put out high damage and try and counter it. But I don't know how the Defiant make those switches. Widow, no. Widow's too much of a gamble. They could just stand behind the shields and pick at you as you try and play Widow. You just need enough damage to sort of counteract the play of the Shock. Because if you go high damage in a stagnant comp to mirror, or you could even go a brawl, right? I think you could run a Lucio brawl into them and get good value. Like if you went like Reaper, Lucio, Moira with a Ryan. But like these are none of the things that the Defiant want to do, right? And that's why this comp is great for the San Francisco Shock, is because I don't know how the Defiant switch against this in a way that is comfortable for them. Why is FD got on Brig? Because they might want to play Ryan Lucio. They might want to switch to the Brawl. The reason he is playing the Brig is he knows that the Defiant are probably going to play the Winston or the Wrecking Ball. So the Brig will get value. So as much as it's like, oh, they should have a Lucio, they don't need a Lucio. They don't need to chase down the Defiant. The Defiant are going to chase them. So you're better off just playing a more defensive style, which is what the Brig provides. So now we've got the Nano Winston, but even then, I think the Winston might get bullied here. Like the Brig Bap is just so much healing. They have both AoE cleaves from the shift from Baptiste and the Inspire from the Brig, and then you also have the Lamp if they do get in trouble. And now he's got the Rally. Like Sato's just having a bad time. Backline gets overextended. And that's sort of what I was saying. They just don't have enough damage to kill the Shock with this dive. So now what they do, like the next thing that Nice is going to be the one who's going to have to open this up. We see Hisu switch over to for the Hanzo, but like the Hanzo, they don't have anyone following up the Hanzo, right? Hisu recognizes he can't play Tracer, which is right. So he switches to the Hanzo, but now they're in a dive, but Hisu's going to try and do damage. So now Sato's going to be even more in Frowny Town because he has no one even following up the damage. Sorry. So why Glister over Arns? It seems like when they put Super and FD got in, they want to also put Glycerin. I can't tell you why. We've speculated the Symmetra. Glister plays the Symmetra for the team. Oh god. Look at Sato, dude. This is so sad to watch. Oh, he's doing it. Good play. He's nanoed. Yo, well played. He actually made it. What? He actually made that work. Well played by the Tron to find to hold that. Custa after dark. Choi. Oh, there you go. So he's just slow to switch. Alright. Let's see how they do this. Because they almost had another nano. Sato's going to get a primal. So they're actually making this work quite well. Vodru, you can't be more not safe for work than Shy Fucks. Oh, we had some moist splooge action as well. That was also a little after dark. Oh! Glister kind of challenged Hisu on that one. And let's remember how good Hisu's... Oh, Hanzo is... Oh, yeah. Nyam, 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 nyam. Nyam, 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 nyam. That's the dream right there. Have you not been demonetized yet? Honestly, I'm surprised none of my YouTube VODs have been demonetized. Does the desk watch the games individually, or do you all sit? We're all in like we sit in like a server, kind of like a Discord channel or TeamSpeak server. We're kind of in something like that, and we just watch it live and we just talk about it and we speculate and talk shit about teams and players. Honestly, me and Johnny. People have tweeted about it, like Hex have tweeted about it. It's literally just me and Johnny molding out of control about how stupid some of the teams are, and everyone else just sitting in the channel telling us to calm down. You should have heard us during the bread bowl. The bread bowl was a great viewing experience. That was so much fun. Just sitting in the voice channel, it was so good. There was so much papegery. Everyone's just yelling at, oh, super. Turning a 4v6. Let's go back here. It's kind of like a co-stream without the viewers. Oh, spicy. That was spicy by super. That was a super diff right there. Super really turned up this game, yeah. It's just a good Rhine meta. Like, I think this is prime time for Super to work, and it seems like they understand how they want to play this as well. Any heroes still banned for the playoffs? No hero pools for the playoffs. Super's still the best, Ryan. Ryan, I think, is very contingent on the rest of your team, so I think it's hard to say that someone is the best Ryan because it all depends on the team around you, right? Sojourn is banned. Dude, I can't wait to play Sojourn. Sojourn looks so much fun. It's like fucking just adding such a good FPS. It's gonna be like when Ash was introduced, right? It's like, oh man, a sick FPS character. Oh, somebody killed the Ana. No, Ana gets away with it. Finally, I get to shoot gun. Yeah, there's not gonna be 2 tanks in your face anymore. You're gonna just be able to shoot at people. Hope they add more hot robots. I'm sure they will. Solo Shadow on the Diva. I actually don't mind that Solo Shadow on the Diva. As much as it doesn't seem valuable to Solo Shadow the Diva, it makes sense. And it was so impactful that last year I actually had to nano Michelle because Michelle's going to be the one who has to touch the point. So they need to keep the Diva alive. Oh, they want that dragon back. That was a great that was a fuck up and a half by the Defiant. Let's watch this back. They just had this dive fight with the Diva Bomb and the Primal, right? Let's watch this back. This whole thing back. Karth's pushing. They go aggressive with the Nano, with the Primal. Doesn't really get anything done. It's just not really well coordinated. Throw the Diva Bomb. Doesn't really get any value. So they used both their tank ultimates and didn't really get a ton of value. Only the Diva mech, okay? The Shock use the window, they create the space, they get the aggression, right? And all of a sudden, because Sato goes in and feeds, Nice also goes in to kill the baby Diva, they then get their backs against the wall. They have to use the Nano here to save the Michelle on the Diva. And they're doing a good job of just like trying to recover from the botched Primal and Diva Bomb. But then this Dragon and the Diva Bomb, and then they rally, and the Shock aren't even pushing. They're not even attacking anymore. So now they have no ultimates going into this final fight, and this is going to be brutal to carry. Let's get some Nero Torb. Nero Torb actually might be the best Torb in the game. Good beat by FD God. Moist splooge all over the point. Nero thought better of it. Alright. What are the Shock gonna do? I assume the Shock's gonna try and slow it down again. Yeah, let's watch some more Torbs. So watch some more Trob, John.
One. Attackers
Valentine Torb's good as well.
Defend objective.
Nero loves himself some Torb, yeah. Pretty excited for Shock Dragons. I think the Shock are in with a chance. I actually think the Shock are in with a good chance. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Super is good to watch his defense. We'll get a third-party look from thing. Pretty good dive, honestly. I don't like the Winston Lucio Ana that much, but I actually did we talked about this in the Soul vs Philly? This is one of the few points that I actually like Winston Lucio Ana, because I feel like the Lucio gives you that great speed. The Ana gets good value with the Nano, and I don't think Brick ever really gets a lot done, so just for this point I think it works because of the verticality of it. The Genji Reaper isn't too bad. Like, without this comp, without the Genji Reaper, Winston Lucio Ana, they don't get that, they don't dislodge them from the high ground. The biggest issue is, the biggest issue is that once the Shock do a good job of disengaging, they don't really have a lot of sustainability or a lot of damage to get through it. Who's the best Bastion? Why is it Jake? We haven't seen much Bastion at all this season. Majority is saying Shock. I think the safe bet is Dragons will win against Shock. I think it's very speculative to say that the Shock are going to beat the Dragons when there is no real evidence to prove that that will happen this season. Maybe a matchup mismatch for the Dragons if the Shock's comp works, but the Dragons could just come out and be like, absolutely whip it out. Just throw it on the desk and be like, we're going to dominate this league. We're going to dominate the playoffs, and I would not be surprised. Shock the world, Copium. Oh, baby, that's too easy. I remember Johnny did this for his best of the day. That was just too easy. They need to play faster than that, and Sutter needs to pre-drop his bubble. What was in that Garvey? I don't know. Just trying to make this match interesting. Add a little bit of After Dark into it. The hammer on Nero comes out so often, yeah. Custa knee count. Oh yeah, let me get rid of my knees. They're going main. Get some moist splooge. Good job. Oh, hello. Oh, that would have been disgusting if Nero just turned that corner and just one taps that Ana through a window. I would have been upset for Lastro. He was lucky he missed that. And they didn't have enough damage to get through the rally. And now, what was that blade? They even used the blade without the nano. Nero's just trolling, and then Glister dies somehow. See, it happens to everyone, not just me on the Torb.
60 seconds remaining.
How about Reaper Echo or Reaper Sombra? I feel like if you're gonna run the Genji, you need to save for the Nano Blade. They just, I don't like that they pulled the blade without the Nano. That just seems like such a waste to me. Because now the blade doesn't get any value, and now they have to Nano the Winston. But Nano Winston, as we know, it's just not enough damage if they're all like hunkered up. And if Shock use ults to like counter it. And as you can tell, they just can't get through this comp from the Shock. Krista dies again. Nero dies again. Okay, guys, what are we doing here? Oh, now Jesus forcing ults. This is not a good fight for the Toronto Defiant. Rally from FD God. They're in trouble. Yeah, I think the Gladiator's BAP Zen is what is good against this Shock comp. You just need to out-damage it. Make it so that the Shock can't just play greedy with their comp. Because the Shock comp is very greedy because of how stagnant it is. But everything that I think the Defiant tried to throw at it just wasn't the answer. So, pretty bad matchup for the Toronto Defiant in hindsight. So, that's it. that's the match. I know it was a quick one, but, you know, I wanted to watch it. You know, I wanted to watch every knockout match, you know, see who qualified. San Francisco Shock will be going to the playoffs. The question becomes, can the San Francisco Shock continue with a three-peat? Can they make it all the way? Can they be the dominant force that we want them to be? Or are they going to fall flat? We know the Shock in the playoffs is generally a different beast. I like the way that they're playing the game right now. But every team in the playoffs is really good this season. So I don't expect it to be... I don't expect that pipe dream that the Shock fans are holding heavily onto with their hopium to come to fruition. But hey, I would love to be wrong. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know what you think. Do you think the Shock can get the three-peat? Do you actually believe, seriously, put the hopium down, put the copium down for just a second. Do you legitimately think that they can beat teams like the Shanghai Dragons, who they have to play in the first round? I don't believe. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. I'm not actually going to be doing any more reviews, but I'll be having some cool content. I've been doing a lot of ranked content coming out. Thank you very much for watching. Check those out. Love you all. I'll see you soon. Bye.